Imagine a man so manipulative he convinced young women to carve words into human flesh. A man so delusional he believed Beatles lyrics were a prophecy. A man so dangerous his name still chills us 50 years later. Today, we are talking about Charles Manson. Manson was an American criminal and a cult leader whose followers carried out several notorious murders in the late 1960s. But let's start at the beginning, because evil isn't born, it's built. November 12, 1934, Cincinnati, Ohio. Manson was born to a 16-year-old girl and a man he would never know. After his mother was imprisoned for armed robbery, he lived with his aunt and uncle in West Virginia. And by the age of 13, Manson had already committed his first known crime, a burglary. This marked the beginning of a lifelong pattern of criminal behavior. Over the next 2 decades, he was incarcerated multiple times for offenses ranging from car theft to pimping. Fresh out of jail in 1967, during the Summer of Love, Manson moved to San Francisco, where he began attracting a group of followers. These individuals, mostly young women from middle-class backgrounds, were drawn to Manson's charisma and his message of love and freedom. This group would later be known as the Manson Family. With his guitar, scraggly beard, and twisted charm, he preached a mix of LSD-fueled philosophy, Scientology, and apocalyptic race war. By 1968, the family eventually settled at the Spahn Ranch, a dilapidated former movie set near Los Angeles. Here, he tightened his grip, using sex, drugs, and psychological abuse to control his followers. Manson was heavily influenced by the Beatles' White Album, particularly the song Helter Skelter. He believed the album contained hidden messages predicting an impending race war. Manson also taught his followers that they were the chosen ones who would survive this apocalypse and rule the new world. He referred to this prophesized conflict as Helter Skelter, a term he borrowed from the Beatles but twisted into his own delusional narrative. To start this war, he needed chaos, and his target, the rich, the famous, anyone who would make headlines. On August 8, 1969, Manson ordered his followers to do something witchy, and then he immediately tested his plan. One of his followers stabbed musician Gary Hinman, writing "Political Piggy in Blood." Manson's verdict? Not brutal enough. Manson's hold over his followers was further graphically illustrated when the family carried out several more murders on Manson's order. The most famous victim was actress Sharon Tate, wife of a film director Roman Polanski, who was killed in her Los Angeles home along with 3 guests. The following night, Manson accompanied his followers to the home of Lino and Rosemary LaBianca, where he instructed them to murder the couple. These acts were intended to appear as though they were committed by African American militants, thereby sparking the anticipated race war. And what happened next? The brutality of the murders sent shockwaves across the nation. For months, Manson hid in plain sight. LAPD blamed the Black Panthers, but then Susan Atkins, one of his trusty followers, was jailed for an unrelated theft, bragged to her cellmate, "I killed Sharon Tate." Further investigation eventually led to the arrest of Manson and several of his followers. The trial became a spectacle. Manson carved a swastika into his forehead, while his girls sang his songs in court. In 1971, Manson and his co-defendants were convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. However, their sentences were later commuted to life imprisonment after California abolished the death penalty in 1972. Charles Manson spent the remainder of his life in prison, becoming a symbol for madness and the dark side of the counterculture movement. He died on November 19, 2017, at the age of 83. For 46 years, Manson rotted in prison. He married a 25-year-old fan, hoarder contraband, even recorded a blues album. But his infamy faded. When he died in 2017, his corpse went unclaimed. No grave, no legacy, just ash. The Manson family murders left an indelible mark on American society, leading to a loss of innocence and a heightened awareness of the potential for violence lurking within fringe groups. Charles Manson wasn't a mastermind. He was a manipulator who preyed on the vulnerable, exploiting the 60s counterculture for his own nihilistic ends. His story is a chilling reminder. Evil doesn't always come with the monster's face. Sometimes it wears a smile. This story serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive power of charismatic leaders and the vulnerability of those seeking purpose. It is a testament to the importance of vigilance in protecting society from those who would exploit the ideals of peace and love for their own malevolent ends.